Today we're going to talk about a sampling technique that I hate, but it's actually an awesome technique. So I'll share with you why I hate it, why I call it a supporting technique, how to use it, and we'll make a full beat with it. So let's just get into it. Why do I hate this technique? And that is because this entire technique is based around removing your sample. I call it the delete your sample technique because you literally just have to delete a part of your sample and you just leave the silence there, which, I know I'm a genius. So literally this entire technique is based around the fact that we're gonna have like a sample loop and then we're simply just gonna be chopping out parts of it. So that can be something that like you don't like, or something that just doesn't fit your beat, something that's way too distracting, or simply just chopping out a part of your sample to make space for the rest of your beat. So I got this sample here, I'm Never Gonna Say Goodbye by Billy Preston, and to start off I literally made like the simplest loop and then I just chopped out a couple of parts to make space for the rest of my beat. Now this technique in itself is really simple, there is nothing hard about it because we're literally just deleting stuff, but the catch with it and the hard part is building around that silence, which we'll talk about that more in point number 3 when we'll be making the full beat. But first, there's one big problem with this technique that makes it completely different from all the techniques I ever talked about. And understanding that one difference will help you make better beats using it. And that is that this is a supporting technique. But okay, what are supporting sampling techniques? Well, simply, those are techniques that can be used by themselves on the sample. You need to use those techniques with another sampling technique as your base. Because in this case, with this technique, well, you cannot delete something if you have nothing. I mean, the fact that it's a supporting technique is also kind of why this technique works in itself, because the contrast it creates between your sample being there and not being there helps to accentuate the elements of your sample. So whatever that might be, for example, for me, those are the vocals in the sample, but it just helps to bring that out even more and it creates this like feeling of something missing. So if we actually go back to my sample, you can see that here in the original loop, I chopped the sample up using the 3-1 technique from my 5 sampling techniques in 21 minutes video. It's slightly modified here, but it's mostly the 3-1 technique because we simply just have this chop repeating 3 times and then at the end we just have a little switch up with this third chop being slightly longer, so the transition between those chops is not as abrupt. And now simply because I have those chops as my base technique, I can take all of this and I can start removing the parts that would make my beat cluttered. But now let's move on to how to use this technique, and my favorite way to use it is to use the original chops of my sample, so basically all of this, for like an intro, chorus or a bridge, so for sections when we can have the arrangement a little bit thicker, while using the chops where I deleted something for the verse, so everything is a little bit emptier. But now the problem with this is that it's obviously going to leave empty gaps in your beat, and while silence is also an instrument that we can use here, it's still worth taking a while to make sure that the silence is deliberate. So for that to work, we need to build around this silence that we have in our sample, and there is multiple things you can do here. So for example, instruments, and so for me I add like 3 different layers of instruments with an 808 as a base. But the important thing is that those instruments need to be like an extension of your loop's progression, so they can't just go off and do something weird whenever we have those gaps, but they need to fill them in and fill in that progression. And pro tip, the easiest way to do that is to create it with the full part of your sample and then just simply move it to the parts where you delete stuff. Next thing that you can add to fill in those gaps is drums, right? And fuller drums work better than drums that aren't full. So like think about using distorted drums, think about using a little bit of reverb on your drums and like delay, and simply adding in a lot perks to just make it all full. And by the way, we'll talk about our drums in a little bit. But lastly, the thing that we can add is vocals. And if you have vocals, or if you're gonna add them in later yourself, then they're also a great way of making those gaps feel intentional. So with all that, let's actually move to the full beat. And I've already showed you the 3 core layers that I added, but I also add this very thick sounding 808. Next, for my drums, I grab 2 kicks, and 3 snares, 2 of them used as a main snare hit and 1 used as like a perk. Now here is the pattern that I make with them. Lastly, to add finishing touches to this beat, I record this bass layer for the intro of my beat and also add this like synth and strings mixed together, make this pattern with it. And yeah, that's actually the full beat. So if you want to learn how to sample just like Kanye West, then check out my 90 days God tier sampling roadmap in Sample Academy. It's first link in the description. And if you want to watch more videos about sampling techniques, then check this playlist out, which has every sampling technique I ever talked about, and see you there.